India, a land of vibrant culture and rich history, unfortunately, also carries a dark stain: the pervasive violence against women. The statistics are alarming and paint a distressing picture of the reality many women face daily. The National Crime Records Bureau reports paint a grim picture, revealing the harsh truth. Every 16 minutes, a woman in India faces a crime because of her gender. This is a staggering statistic that highlights the urgency of the issue. These crimes take many forms, each more horrifying than the last. They range from domestic violence to sexual assault, from trafficking to so-called honor killings. Each act leaves a lasting scar. These acts of violence are not just numbers. They represent shattered lives, broken families, and a deep-rooted societal problem that needs urgent attention. The pervasiveness of this issue is a national shame. It demands our attention. It requires action from every level of society. We must acknowledge the reality before we can change it. Awareness is the first step towards meaningful action. The fear that many women live with every day is unacceptable. It is a fear that no one should have to endure. Our mothers, sisters, daughters, and friends deserve to live in a society where they feel safe and respected. It is our collective responsibility to ensure their safety and dignity.
To effectively address violence against women in India, we must understand its roots. This understanding is crucial for creating meaningful change and ensuring the safety and dignity of women across the nation. One major factor is the deeply ingrained patriarchal mindset prevalent in Indian society. This mindset has been passed down through generations, shaping the way men and women interact and perceive each other. This mindset places men in positions of power and control, often relegating women to inferior roles. Women are expected to prioritize the needs and desires of men, often at the expense of their own ambitions and well-being. This power imbalance manifests in many ways, affecting every aspect of women's lives, from their personal relationships to their professional opportunities. It can be seen in the expectation that women should be subservient to men, always deferring to male authority and decision-making. It is evident in the pressure on women to conform to traditional gender roles, which often limit their potential and restrict their freedom. And it is reflected in the lack of value placed on women's voices and experiences. Women's contributions are frequently overlooked or dismissed, reinforcing their marginalization. Another contributing factor is the presence of institutional gaps. These gaps create an environment where gender-based violence can thrive unchecked. Our legal system, while making strides, still has loopholes that perpetrators exploit. These loopholes often result in inadequate protection and justice for victims. Law enforcement agencies often lack the sensitivity and training to deal with gender-based violence effectively. This lack of preparedness can lead to further trauma for victims seeking help. This lack of accountability emboldens perpetrators. Knowing that they are unlikely to face serious consequences, they continue their harmful behaviors. They know they can often act with impunity, perpetuating a cycle of violence and fear. This cycle of violence will continue unless we address these systemic issues. By challenging patriarchal norms and closing institutional gaps, we can create a safer, more equitable society for all.
The institutions designed to protect women often fail to do so adequately. This failure is multifaceted. It includes a lack of resources allocated to women's safety, inadequate training for police officers and judicial officials, and a backlog of cases that clog the legal system. Women who experience violence often face a daunting and disheartening process when they seek justice. They may encounter insensitive police officers who are unwilling to file a report. They may face lengthy court battles that can drag on for years, and they may even face pressure from their own families to stay silent. This lack of support and protection forces many women to suffer in silence. They may fear social stigma, economic repercussions, or further violence if they speak out. These institutional failures perpetuate a climate of impunity for perpetrators.
The issues of economic disparity and caste hierarchy further exacerbate the vulnerability of women in India. Women from lower socioeconomic backgrounds often lack access to education, healthcare, and legal aid, making them easy targets for exploitation. The caste system, though officially abolished, continues to cast a long shadow on Indian society. Women from lower castes face a double burden of discrimination based on both gender and caste, rendering them even more susceptible to violence and oppression. These forms of systemic inequality create an environment where violence against women can thrive. We must address these root causes if we are to create a truly just and equitable society for all.
Section 5. Seeds of Change, Legal and Institutional Reforms. The journey towards a safer India for women begins with robust legal and institutional reforms. Strengthening laws that address all forms of violence against women is crucial. This includes stricter penalties for perpetrators and closing loopholes that allow them to escape justice. But laws alone are not enough. We need effective implementation and enforcement. This requires sensitizing law enforcement agencies, providing specialized training to police officers, and ensuring swift and fair trials for cases of gender-based violence. Furthermore, we must invest in fast-track courts dedicated to handling such cases. Justice delayed is justice denied. A swift and fair legal process will send a strong message that violence against women will not be tolerated.
Section 6. Knowledge is power. Education for equality. Education is a powerful tool for social change. By promoting gender equality through education, we can challenge and dismantle harmful patriarchal norms. We must start early, teaching boys and girls about respect, consent, and equality. Schools should be safe spaces where children learn about their rights and how to identify and report abuse. Comprehensive sexuality education is crucial to empower young people to make informed decisions about their bodies and relationships. Moreover, we need to educate communities about the detrimental effects of gender-based violence. Raising awareness about women's rights and challenging harmful traditional practices is essential to creating a society that values and respects women.
Section 7. Breaking the Chains, Economic Empowerment. Economic empowerment is key to enabling women to break free from abusive situations. When women are financially independent, they are less likely to tolerate violence or discrimination. Investing in women's education, vocational training, and entrepreneurship opportunities is crucial. We need policies that promote equal pay for equal work, encourage women's participation in the workforce, and provide access to microfinance and other financial resources. Empowering women economically will not only benefit them individually, but also strengthen our nation as a whole. Economic independence gives women a voice. It allows them to make choices for themselves and their families. It provides a pathway out of poverty and vulnerability. It is an essential step towards gender equality.
Section 8. Communities United. A collective stand. Ending violence against women requires a collective effort. Communities must come together to challenge harmful attitudes and behaviors. Religious leaders, elders, and influential figures can play a vital role in promoting respect for women and condemning violence. We need to create support systems for survivors of violence. This includes establishing more shelters and crisis centers, providing counseling and legal aid, and ensuring that survivors receive the medical and psychological care they need. By fostering a culture of zero tolerance for violence against women, we can create communities where women feel safe, respected, and empowered.
Section 9. Technology as a tool. Safety in the digital age. In today's digital age, technology can be a powerful tool for enhancing women's safety. Mobile applications, GPS tracking devices, and online platforms can provide women with tools to report abuse, seek help, and stay connected with support networks. However, we must also address the issue of online harassment and cyberbullying, which can have severe consequences for women's mental health and well-being. Promoting digital literacy and responsible online behavior is essential. Technology can be a double-edged sword. We must harness its potential for good while mitigating its risks to create a safer digital space for women.
Section 10. A future free from fear. A long-term vision. Ensuring women's safety and dignity in India requires a long-term vision. one that encompasses legal reforms, institutional strengthening, education, economic empowerment, community engagement, and technological advancements. It is not just about creating laws, but also about changing mindsets and breaking down barriers that have existed for generations. It demands a fundamental shift in our societal attitudes and beliefs. We need to foster an environment where women feel safe and empowered to pursue their dreams without fear of discrimination or violence. We must move away from a culture of silence and impunity towards a culture of zero tolerance for violence against women. This means holding perpetrators accountable and providing support to survivors. This requires a sustained and comprehensive approach involving all stakeholders: government, civil society, communities, and individuals. Everyone has a role to play in this transformative journey. Let us work together to build a future where every woman in India can live with dignity, respect, and freedom from fear. A future where women can walk freely in public spaces, pursue their careers, and participate fully in society. Let us create a society where the birth of a girl child is celebrated, where women are valued for their contributions, and where their voices are heard and respected. Together we can make this vision a reality, ensuring a brighter and more equitable future for all.